"Boy," he said, "you gotta quit bringing me stuff like this out of your old daddy's pantry. He's furnishing me grub enough. Not tomatoes or peaches or stuff like that. Anyway, he can afford a can of something now and then. I don't know. If it don't rain pretty soon, he might not be able to buy nothing. You gotta quit it, Billy. That's stealing. It's not stealing when you take it out of your own house. That's not like stealing cattle or taking from a bank or—" He broke off short, realizing he was edging into deep water. "Anyway, Dad knows about it. He's seen me. And you deserve something special once in a while. This is hard work building tanks." Joe Little studied the can a while in silence. "Did I ever tell you, boy, about the time I shared a can of tomatoes with John Wesley Hardin?" Billy smiled. "Just happens you did. Only the last time you said it was Billy the Kid." Joe Little frowned. "I believe you're right. It was Billy the Kid. What I shared with Wes Hardin was a pot of coffee." Joe's black dog set into barking and trotted across the newly dug basin. Joe stood up to look. He almost dropped the can. He said something under his breath, his eyes going wide. Billy jumped to his feet. "What is it, Joe?" Joe didn't reply, so Billy looked for himself. 100 yards away came 2 men on horseback. They were strangers to Billy. Joe said, "If I didn't know better, I'd swear that was Macy Modock. But he's in jail." Billy shook his head. "No, he's out. You hadn't heard?" "I ain't heard nothing but a hooty owl and you in a month of Sundays." "They've been talking a little round the ranch. They don't say much that I can hear. I remember there was hard feelings once between him and Dad. Is he back to make trouble, Joe?" "I don't know, boy." Joe Little shook his head. "Anywhere he's at, he's going to make trouble." He sagged a bit. Billy looked at him in surprise. "You know Macy Modock?" "I know him, boy. I've stretched the truth a mite about some of them other fellers, but I sure as hell know Macy Modock. We was in school together. Shared a room a while, so to speak." "You mean you was cellmates?" Joe Little dropped any pretense. "We was cellmates. For me, it was like being denned up with a rattler." Macy Modock and Owen Darby eased their horses down into the basin and rode across to where Little and Billy stood on the fresh-made dump. Modock lifted his hand and made a dim sort of smile. "Howdy, Joe. Folks in town told me you was working out here." Joe looked at first one man, then the other, worry creasing his dust-powdered face. "Folks in town talk too much. How do, Macy, Darby?" There was no greeting in his voice. The black dog sniffed suspiciously around the strange horses and backed off, as if deciding that if his master didn't like the company, he didn't either. He barked again from a careful distance. Macy Modock stared at Billy. "I'd judge by the looks that this boy would be a bishop. Howdy, boy." Billy Bishop had been raised to be civil right up to the moment he swung his fist. "How do, Mr. Modock?" Modock's attention stayed with Billy. "I swear, he sure does favor his old daddy. I bet that old man sets a heap of store in you, don't he, boy?" Joe Little took that for an implied threat. "Macy, this boy is a friend of mine. You leave him alone."